Hey guys, ArkhIce here. And today, as you can see, there is a patch notes and everything, right? And it's nothing new. It's just simple stuff, right? And well, there's new guild bosses coming out, and he is terrible. If you didn't pull the Rage 0 units, I do apologize. You're gonna have a very tough time on this boss. Also, if you don't have Lolly Merlin, you're gonna have, of course, a very tough time on this boss, right? At least free to play. So this boss, right? What he does is that he does I think it's 500%. It says 300 or 500% extra damage to demons, humans, goddesses, and I think that's it. Because the only ones you can use are unknown, giants, and fairies. I feel like there's a race I'm missing. Is there a race I'm missing? Oh wait, that's not what I meant to pull up. Heroes, let's see here. Reject, please. And let's see. Okay, so the only races you can use during this are these three. This is the only three races you can use. Because, I mean, you could use Derriere theoretically. But for how many tries it's going to take you to use Derriere without dying as Derriere is going to be the issue. Because this boss has 3 different hitboxes, right? He has his 2 side weapons, and he has him himself. He cannot be taking damage at all unless you kill the 2 side swords first. But, yeah. Today in this video, I just want to go over a few teams you can be used that are really good against him. So you have a few different teams. Before we jump into this and start making these teams, make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. And hit that notification bell if you want to get notified when I upload. Now, first team, obviously, we're going to make over here. We're just going to quickly clear out my autoing really fast. Okay, so obviously, you know, one of the first teams that are actually really good against them is a full unknown team, right? So obviously, you know, you have Lolly Merlin. You can put her if you want to, but Amelia is really good for this. Where is he at? Where's Mr. Hawk? Hawk right here, even with only his 15%, is still insanely good for this, right? Especially if you have, you know, Ram here. So this is one of the teams you can run and everything. This team is really good against it. If you have this team, run this team. This team will actually work really well against him. Lolly Merlin just does a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure his side swords would be frozen, but him can't. But since the side swords do a lot of AoE, you know, with Amelia's passive and everything, which is really good. Plus, she's an ult gauge removal, and her ult is just incredibly strong. It's an AoE ult. It's secret technique. If you have a lot of cards, it's insanely strong, right? And obviously, we have Hawk here, right? Hawk, you know, he gets 15%. All stats is increased. He does do an actual lot of damage to him. Legitimately, his ult, his attack cards with Ram in the back, plus his own stats, do a lot of damage to him, right? That is something that is happening. On JP, I don't have my Hawk SA'd, and I'm able to do it quite easily without Hawk SA. Though I need a few tries to go to RNG because I don't have Amelia leveled up. But, because I use Rim. Yeah. The one thing about using Rim in this instead of Amelia is that the boss does take away buffs. So if you do decide to use Rim, take a note that he will sometimes actually take away all your buffs. It will happen whenever he decides to use the card randomly. Don't exactly know which card it is because in JP, obviously, I can't particularly tell, but yeah. I mean, I could have. I'd learned the attack cards, but I don't. So yeah, make sure you do remember that it does take away buffs. Another good team, if we go ahead and go into set team, is a giant form of the team, right? Or actually, hold on, one versus the unknown team. Let me quickly change this. Where is she at? There is one unit that is particularly really good for this. Camilla. Camilla is actually insane for this, right? I don't know why it's showing Luduciel here. Camilla's really good for this. She does a lot of insane damage against him. honestly. And of course, you could also run another unknown unit. Of course, Hawk, Ram. You have Camilla here. If you did pull Camilla, there's a bunch of other units you can use as a third slot. Obviously, there's not much to say. Camilla just does a lot of damage, right? Of course, if you don't have the unknown units, I mean, also you have her, but obviously you can use a full giant team, right? Let's do this, and this. Obviously, I don't have her. If you do have Wedding Giant DN, you can use a full giant team. Obviously, you can use, you know, the Drolls, you can use DN, and then Matrona and someone else in the back and everything. You can use the full giant team for this. The full giant team does work really well for this. That is something to take note. For fairies, there is a Gloxinia King team that works really well. Of course, also a Fez King team that works really well. Other than those 3 different teams, I don't particularly know any teams that work really well. Like Fez King works insane against him, right? Obviously, Fez King needs some debuffs and everything, specific debuffs, of course. So you're going to have to work around that. But with this just one debuff, he does do a lot of damage to him. Of course, obviously, applying a Hellborn buff will be really, really good. Gloxinia just has a lot of different utility, of course, you can use in this. You know, Gloxinia does have heals. Although the heals are sealed, you can't really use heals, but, you know, this is the one that's really good. Sealing his rank skills. I don't know if it exactly works, but I know Gloxinia can do a lot of damage. Ruin, of course, if he can get a few debuffs, and I'm pretty sure he can do a lot of damage. Obviously, instead of Gloxinia here, you're probably going to run Gother. You could run a Giant here, like Droll, and then bring Gother here. If you wanted to get the stat boost of everyone up, you of course you could always do that. Red Gother also works really well, just in case he doesn't hit Red Gother, you get a buff from that. Basically, there's a lot of different units, build a lot of different, you know, Giant, Unknown, and Fairy units for this, basically. Which is, you know, it's not too bad. It's just the boss was limited because of the one Escanor, Derriere, Zeldris, all these other units got limited because of that. Let's say that you did want to actually, you know, deal with him through the methods of Derriere. I don't recommend it, but you can if you want to attempt it. Now, where is my Derriere? Did I not? Oh, did I actually turn goddess? I did. Instead of doing turn goddesses. Put my red Derriere in here. Of course, we have Helbram here. We're gonna put my green Gother here. And in the back, you know, put whoever, right? Like Deathbear or something. So this is the team you would run. This is basically the team you run for Akuma, I'm pretty sure. And this team will work on him. Though it does require you to get really good RNG. Enough good RNG to do basically you need to take out his side units and then him with an ult. Basically, it's a finish in just a couple of turns without your Derriere dying. And it does take a lot of RNG of having him forcing all of his single targets on the other 2 characters instead of your Derriere. This is basically a push through method of you just break through and with just pure damage. And hope the god that he doesn't attack you when you get good RNG with Derriere cards. That's what this method is. So, yeah. That is a few different teams you can use for Belgius. Just find out what works for you when he comes out. Honestly, like I showed a few different sample teams, but just mix the teams together. He isn't too particularly hard. Like, in all honesty, he doesn't do damage. Is it extreme or is it hell? Extreme or hell, whichever one's a hard difficulty, right? I don't remember exactly. He doesn't do a lot of damage. He doesn't. Like, compared to, like, him, right? Or Einik, or, you know, Kuma. He doesn't do a lot of damage. He honestly doesn't. If you're a not a demon human and goddess unit, of course. But if you're a giant fairy or unknown, he legitimately does like a few thousand a hit. He does like 1,000 per hit. It legitimately does not hit hard. He doesn't hit hard at all. So they did make it to where it's more balanced, as in the fact since you can't use your OP units, you have to use other specific units. They balance in the fact where he doesn't do much damage to you, so you can actually win this. So it is balanced in that fact. Just do note that using demon, fairy, no, demon, goddess, and human, you're gonna have a very tough time finishing this, and you do have to use specific race teams, or a mix of all if you want to do like a Fez King, Gotha team. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.